There's a host of benefits to using steel over aluminium, titanium or carbon fibre. It's simple to work with, repairable, durable and should have a nicely damped feel, given that classic steel is real ride quality. The slimmer tube shapes also have their own unique visual appeal. It is heavier than either aluminium or carbon, but that doesn't mean your steel bike has to be a heavyweight. We've put together 5 steel bikes that we think offer something a little bit special, and who knows, you might be converted into a metalhead after watching this. Cotic Rocket was their first steel 4-suspension bike introduced way back in 2012, and it's come a long way in the decade since. The Rocket morphed from its 26-inch origins into a now discontinued 27.5-inch wheel bike that sat alongside the bike we picked out here, the big-wheeled Rocket Max. The latest Rocket Max Gen 4 is Cotic's big travel enduro bike, offering up 160mm of rear-wheel travel in its stock configuration, teamed with a big old 170mm fork up front. Adjustability has always been a big part of the Rocket Max's mantra. The Gen 4 still takes those bigger 29er hoops, but can also be set up as a mullet bike. It can also be reduced to 155 or 150mm of rear-wheel travel, suited for a 160mm fork with a shorter stroke shock, giving you the option for multiple setups, all based around the same frame. Speaking of that frame, it uses Cotic's much loved longer, lower and slacker long shot geometry and their new C sizing range. With 5 sizes to choose from instead of 4, there's now smaller jumps between the reach measurements of each size at just 19mm and shorter seat tubes, so you have more options than before, so you can get your fit perfectly dialed into your needs. Of course, the thing you're all here for though is the glorious steel tubing. Reynolds 853 pipes are used for the front end, with Cotic's signature oval form top tube giving a precise and beautifully pliable ride feel. The swing arm is made from 6066 T6 aluminium, with steel seat stays teamed with the brand's drop-link suspension design for oodles of ground-hugging, feedback-rich traction. We're big fans of the Rocket Max, so if you want to know more, check out the full review with the link in the description. Fairlight may be better known for their gorgeous road, gravel and adventure bikes, but the Holt is a classic MTB through and through. The brand claims the Holt is unashamedly XC, designed to be fast and efficient with class-leading compliance and comfort. The Holt marks another appearance of Reynolds' classic 853 and 631 tubing for the front triangle, with 4130 custom formed chain and seat stays and gorgeous Bentley X Fairlight utility dropouts. These feature a replaceable gear hanger and a swappable brake mount that can be either post or flat mount for maximum brake compatibility. Given Fairlight's adventurous history and love of bikepacking, it's not surprising to see that the Holt gets Di2 and Dynamo light routing should you want it, along with 3 sets of bottle bosses and rear rack mounts. This is a bike you can shred on the single track for an afternoon or go out on a multi-day adventure with. Designed for rigid or 100 to 120mm forks, the Holt makes no bones about its fast handling cross-country intentions, with the head angle sitting at 67.1 degrees when a 120mm fork is fitted with 20% sag. This is not a super slack shred sled, but a finely tuned single track scalpel. Further emphasising this is the skinny 27.2mm seat tube, so don't expect to be throwing a 200mm dropper post on the Holt. The seat post may be skinny, but you can fit up to 29 by 2.6 inch wide rubber if you want to eke out even more comfort, or take things really old school with a rigid fork without breaking your wrists. Available directly from Fairlight as a bare frame only starting at £999, or a complete off-the-shelf XT build for £3,299, as with their other bikes, upgrades to the spec are available, with a host of different options from Hope, Hunt, Chris King and PNW. REEB Cycles may not be a name that you're familiar with, but their SST aims to change that. Stunningly constructed from 4130 chromoly tubes and aerospace grade DMLS 3D printed frame components, it perfectly blends old school materials with cutting edge construction methods to create the fast, fun trail bike you've always wanted. The heart of the SST is its 120mm travel frame. Handmade in Colorado, the SST is designed to bridge the gap between REEB's hardtails and the longer travel Stiesel. The result is a short travel ripper with the rowdy and playful character of its hardtails and enough support to hit the big lines. The 120mm of rear bounce is controlled by either a coil or air shock, with cleverly tuned flex-stay kinematics replacing a traditional horse link that the brand claims to provide outstanding small bump compliance, traction and pedalling performance. Teamed to that is a 130 to 150mm travel fork that gobbles up the bumps up front and gives a moderately slack 65.5 degree head angle with a middle-of-the-road 140mm fork. Elsewhere, the SST is all about versatility and user-friendliness, with external hose routing, a 44mm head tube that allows you to fit any stereo tube you like, a SRAM UDH derailleur hanger, and a 73mm threaded bottom bracket allowing you to run pretty much any drivetrain, including SRAM's new Eagle transmissions. The SST is available as a frame set with pricing starting from $3,795 with a Cane Creek double barrel inline air or coil shock, rising up to $4,595 for an upgraded push 11.6 shock. Frame and fork chassis kits start out at $4,695, with complete builds kicking off at $6,395 for the RockShox suspension equipped GX build, rising up to $9,695 for the all-singing, all-dancing EXT fork and shock equipped Exo Eagle T-Type build. It might not be cheap, but if you really want to stand out from the crowd, the SST is most definitely worth a look. Bird Cycle Works may only have been around for the last decade or so, but their bikes have really caught the imagination of riders around the UK and the rest of the world. The Forge is the brand's steel hardtail, and from the outset, it was designed to be its most aggressive hardtail ever according to Dan, Bird's designer. He claims it's designed to rail and carve corners like no other hardtail on the market, while keeping that classic skinny tube aesthetic that steel frames are known for. Bird initially started work on the Forge way back in 2013, and it was finally released into the wild in 2021. The result is a trail-ready 29-inch wheel beast capable of taking 140 to 160mm travel forks and geometry that is definitely on the long and slack side of things. With a big 160mm fork plugged in up front, the head angle is a super slack 63.2 degrees, while the reach on a size large is a whopping 496mm. The BB height is a ground-scrapingly low 310mm, and chainstays are nice and short at 435mm, so you can see why Bird claims it handles like no other hardtail. Another part of the recipe for smiles is the stunning steel frame. Constructed from a Reynolds 853 DZB, or double zone butted top tube and down tube, combined with 4130 chrome moly for the other tubes, the Forge is certainly a looker, especially in the glorious TVR-inspired Tuscan teal paint job that flips from teal to purple depending on the angle. Like the REEB SST, the Forge is also built for practicality, with ISC Go5 mounts, external cable routing, 2 bottle cage mounts on the down tube, SRAM's UDH hanger interface, and a threaded bottom bracket, meaning you can build it up however you would like. It's just as well that Bird offers not only a £840 frame set, but almost infinitely customizable complete builds as well, with suspension from RockShox or Formula, drivetrains from SRAM or Shimano, and a huge selection of other components to choose from. The Forge certainly impressed our test team, so be sure to check out the full review with the link in the description. Last but by no means least, we have the Pipedream Moxie MX3. Pipedream is another classic British brand that can trace its roots back to the 1990s, but the latest Moxie is anything but a retro throwback. This is one seriously up-to-date hardtail with capabilities that go way beyond the old school name and skinny steel tubes. First off, the Moxie is about as adjustable and as customizable as any bike on the market. It can be run with forks from 140 to 170mm of travel, full 29, 27.5 inch plus, regular 27.5 inch or mullet wheel setups, and has sliding dropouts giving a massive 16mm of chainstay adjustment. Not only that, but the Moxie also features Pipedream's drop optimized geometry, giving you a super short seat tube and steep 77.5 degree seat angle to give you an efficient riding position and as much drop opposed travel as possible. Even the biggest, longer frame with its gargantuan 510mm reach has an incredibly short 420mm seat tube, so you can fit pretty much any length drop opposed you like, including the latest breed of 200mm plus droppers from the likes of One Up Components and Bike Yoke. The Moxie is available as a frame only for £795 in a range of stunning colours. The Moxie is truly a hardtail for the individualists out there, so if that sounds like you, check out the full review with the link down below. Would you choose one of these slender tube stunners over a carbon wonder bike? Be sure to let us know in the comments, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and if you want to check out some more alternative metal frames, then check out this video.